Hello everyone, this is Nick, Pezant Pezarro with Systemchalk today, who's going to be casting with me, and we're just casting a random pub match between the Radiant and the Dire. Systemchalk, you want to start off talking about what little heroes we do have picked so far?
Well, I'd say Radiant, it seems like Phantom Assassin is still popular despite the event going on, event finishing. Spirit Breaker, I've never actually heard at a higher level, although also Earth Spirit doesn't seem to be picked very much in pubs, so I guess these would be two unconventional picks for a pub. Would that be your experience as well?
Yeah, well, it's ranked all picks, so most of the time people don't really try the hardest. Yeah, I mean, like, typically you see, like, Faceless Void, Death Prophet, Brewmaster, Lycan, that kind of stuff, in, like, first bans and picks. People don't really go for that quite as much. They kind of just play what they want to play. I think, honestly, I love PA. She's, like, so strong. She got nerfed a little bit in 6.83 with a slight reduction to the bonus damage for a crit. And we see Pudge, which is exciting, because Pudge now has an 1,000 range on his hook at level 1, which means there's some opportunity for like, rot heavy builds, support Pudges, that kind of stuff that weren't really available otherwise before, because he just had a little dinky hook. But so far, I mean, I can see these lanes working out okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, too, do you think that the change to the hook distance is significant enough to merit a change to the skill pool, or do you think the damage of the hook is still enough to put that as a priority for skilling?
I can definitely see this being a reason to change around your skill build, because the rot damage increase is pretty significant. It's 25 per level. I don't know. I'm sure you've been in a situation where a Pudge gets on top of you and starts rotting you, and it just fucking sucks, and you die. Just imagine that rot is doing like twice or more damage. Like you could potentially do like hook first into 2 levels in rot or something instead of maxing hook all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll also say, too, probably my favorite hero has been picked on the Dire here, Vengeful Spirit, which seems to be getting a little bit more work in competitive play, but, I mean, in terms of all of the skills that she's had, a reliable stun is something that I've always loved. I've always felt positioning would be one thing that I needed to work on the most when I was starting with the game, but it seems to be also one of those things that wins games at the higher level.
Yeah.
And then armor is just such a big deal, too, that, especially combined with Drow Ranger and Nature's Prophet, who, you know, are going to... Nature's Prophet seems to hit relatively hard fairly quick, and then Drow Ranger enhancing everybody with her ult. I like the combination of those three.
Yeah, they're definitely favoring the ranged on the Dire side, which makes sense because they do have a Drow Ranger, and I think that you kind of need to do that when you have Drow, because she's a pretty good hero. She's not the strongest carry, so if you build your team around, take advantage of her aura, and wow, that's just disgusting. So the final picks are made. I'll introduce the Dire. We have Q Sun on the Viper, Stoli hashtag DotA on the Earth Spirit, Grizzly playing Vengeful Spirit, Princess Moonbeam on Nature's Prophet, and the last guy hasn't gone in yet, and that is Zeko on the Drow Ranger. And on the Radiant,
we've got Baron on the Phantom Assassin, Black King playing Spirit Breaker. On Ogre Magi we have Versil, Mid-Pudge, I'm assuming Mid-Pudge on Puzzlix, and finally on the Undying, who's currently hiding out for the top rune, 900 GPM.
We'll see if he gets 900 GPM, but as an off-lane Undying, I don't think so. Unless he gets a bunch of triple kills, which happens sometimes, because Undying is just so annoying to play against. So, I don't know, this game is looking okay so far. They're moving towards the runes.
It's almost time for everybody to
They have pretty decent picks, lots of stuns on both sides, decent lane synergy. So maybe we got into a sort of a higher level game. There's a charge coming out here onto the Vengeful Spirit. Undying chasing her down. Ogre's got his Ignite. She's going to get slowed a lot. That really high move speed on Undying is letting him chase a lot. This is going to be first blood. Earth Spirit tries to save her, digs to back up. Drow with a nice sound's going to push him back and probably save his life. Looks like it's going to be alright. Wow, that was quick and painful.
Well, if you say so.
Absolutely.
So
actually, on the note,
go ahead. Sorry.
On the note of the nurse that we were talking about as well, I would guess the Earth Spirit Boulder wouldn't be doing the attack slow anymore either, as well.
That's true. Good point. That might have made the difference too, because he was clearing the cliff there, and if they had a slowed attack, he might have been able to get up over the edge and not get finished off. But that was one dead Venge, which is, you know, I don't know. I mean, I love positioning for the rune, but sometimes a little bit risky. So they got just a really bulky tri-lane up here on top. Venge throwing a lane ward in, a little obvious in my opinion. We'll see if they do end up dewarding it. They might not have noticed. And no ward placed yet by the Radiant. But it looks like it's maybe a farming Undying. So maybe you'll get that 900 GPM after all. What do you think of the lanes? PA versus Natures, Pudge versus Viper, and the tri-lane top. Who do you think's gonna come out on top here?
Well, I was gonna say I guess there's really nothing else that you can do with the PA. I think the top lane's going to be particularly difficult for Dire. I don't really see... I mean, Vengeful Spirit doesn't have that much range. I mean, Drow Ranger might be able to sneak in a last hit or two, but it sort of seems like this is going to be a lane that just gets constantly bullied the whole time. And I mean, Earth Spirit also seems to be... I mean, I really like the hero myself, but I'm not entirely sure what he's going to contribute against an Ogre Magi and a Spirit Breaker. Just sort of seems like if he runs in, he's going to die.
Yeah, and there's another kill attempt here coming out with Vengeful Spirit, and she's just getting beat up. There's a boulder coming in. The pushback from Drow might save him, and Undying's looking to chase. He's actually going to go on the Drow instead. He does have a Tombstone ready. Will he use it? Not yet. He's just chasing her down and punching her, doing so much damage with those stacks of strength that he got. They're still chasing. The Ignite is burning down the Drow. She's just barely outdistancing. There's a big chase here. There's a Tombstone coming out, going to kill off the Drow Ranger. But Ogre Maja's going to die as well. I would have liked to have seen him use the Tombstone earlier. I get that he's trying to avoid using that, and probably a little bit cocky based on his earlier kills, but you start to lose momentum when you give up a kill for a kill in those types of lanes.
Yeah.
But geez, very aggressive so far.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other big...
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, the other big concern that I had for this was it looks like they picked the Drow Ranger into... Oh, looks like another fight's breaking out.
Yeah, there's a gank happening mid. Viper might actually be able to... Oh, he finishes off the Pudge. No mana for the charge on the Spirit Breaker, so he might have maybe waited a little bit longer, would have probably been better. He didn't get a bash there on his attack on Viper, and Pudge did hook him in nicely, but then Viper does so much damage when you're low on health, which is probably why they picked him to be against Pudge mid. But go ahead, this game is just so crazy, but you were going to say something before another kill happened.
Well, there's also an initiation in the Radiant off lane as well, or Spirit managed to get a couple of kills. But the biggest concern that I had for the Radiants, PA's jumping in on Nature's Prophet, the Spirit Breaker coming in.
It's probably going to be a kill on Nature. It's going to be really hard for him to get away. The dagger's going to give that sight, and they're going to finish him off. Alright, go quickly before they kill someone else.
Before they kill somebody else. So, it was a little weird to me that they picked a Drow Ranger into the PA, because obviously PA is going to have her blur, which makes her harder to hit.
Yeah.
MKB doesn't seem to be something that Drow would normally build, and then of course the fact that her ultimate comes specifically from her distance away from people. All that PA needs to do is blink in on her, and the Dire side is going to be at a pretty significant disadvantage to my mind.
Yeah, well, that'll also reduce the damage bonus being granted by Drow during team fights, for example. But yeah, I think PA is really strong, especially when she hits 6 against like this Nature's Prophet. She should be able to kill him pretty much repeatedly. And she'll be really strong against Drow as well, just jumping on her and taking her out. And Drow can push her back, but she can still pressure after the fact, so... Looks like Earth Spirit might want to try and go in here on the Undying. Throws down his Tombstone, he's taking a lot of damage, needs to back up, needs to get that Q off, but he's going to be able to get out of distance. There you go, steals his strength away. Meanwhile, Ogre Magi beating down on the Earth Spirit. Looks like it's going to be a kill on him. Those friggin' little flesh golems chasing him down. And Venge is going to die as well. There's a double kill. Undying, definitely one of the masters.
For Drow as well.
Oh, she's still alive. Looks like Spirit Breaker wants to chase. He does have an urn. He wants that urn charge. He's getting stunned under the tower. Drow's beating down on him. Ogre running around here from the side. To get the finish on the Drow, but now everyone's up here on top, and this is a really bad position for them. Ogre's just gonna peace out. Looks like it might be the end of Spirit Breaker though.
Middle tower is under siege.
Wow, this game, crazy. What was I gonna say earlier? I was gonna say Undying. Just he's so good against multiple heroes in a lane with his strength steal, because like just so many opportunities to steal away all the health. Oh, we'll see if he gets a kill here on Viper. A lot more health on Pudge this time around. And Viper's just barely outdistancing, but he does have a Spirit Breaker charging him, so we'll see if SB can finish him off. I'm just watching Viper getting chased right now. He has 30 health. I think he's probably gonna die. There's not much you can do about it. Yeah, there you go. And SB2Q's back. So that was good. And that was a good decision by Pudge not to chase, because he might have given away the fact that he's gonna get charged or something
Dyer's
like that.
middle tower is being
Oh,
attacked.
hook and oops, nice. Another kill for Pudge.
Material plane.
That's actually really surprising because it seems like Earth Spirit's really been on top of things, and it's not exactly like that was a hook that nobody could have predicted. It was pretty clear. So
I get caught out by that shit too. It's pretty bad.
oh, I do. I get caught by that constantly, but I'm terrible, so that's my excuse. That looked like we got another charge on Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, SB doing a really good job here of taking advantage of his charge of darkness to set up kills and stuff, which sometimes you don't see from Spirit Breakers, but he's really going in there and taking out people. Oh, Nature's getting a little bit of a respite here. Might actually be a kill on PA. She is running away. Those dodges helping her out a bit with survival, and they do manage to get a kill without her dying off. Looks like he's gonna throw an Earth Charge on her. No, he throws it on himself instead. I think that was a mistake, maybe.
Well, she's got her stuff going as well, so.
She wants it, right? She keeps pinging herself, but no, he's not going to give it to her. Oh,
right.
Pudge! Pudge wants a hook mid! Oh no, he fails. That was a big fail. But he can still get up on top of Viper here with the Rot and his ult. No ult, but he's going to be dead.
My flight.
Just Undying on his own up here on top. I'm sure he'll do okay. Although he's getting beat down by Frost Arrows now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for it.
Oh, there's Tombstone.
Tombstone's up.
Gonna give him a brief respite. Man, Drow just taking so much damage already from the Tombstone. Undying looking to turn it around now. He wants to hit her. There's the pushback from Silence, but she's already she's almost dead as a result of those golems. There's the punch from Undying, and it's gonna finish her off. I don't know if I agree with this chase. I really don't agree with this chase. That was a bad idea.
Not a good decision, especially because he's gonna die to Viper now.
Oh god.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is
Nature
under
just finishes
siege.
them off. People do that a lot. They get a slight advantage and then they start getting really cocky and like kind of throwing it.
Absolutely. Noticing Pudge's skill build, it looks like it's
it's
back to the good old days with a max hook.
Oh! She dodges the hook. I don't even know if that was intentional because it almost got there and she just moved very slightly. SB's gonna set that up. Oh. Lots of TPs. I'm impressed from the Dire side, and this is what they need to do with such a gank-heavy team. Pudge just kind of failing on his hooks right now, and Ogre Magi still has regen rune, so he doesn't have the mana that he would otherwise with this bottle. Looking for another kill up here on top. This has been a really crazy early game. Looking at the net worth chart, the Radiant does have a slight advantage. They're 1,000 ahead. That being said, the Dire does have a pretty strong late game, and Undying does tail off a little bit, and looks like they're really starting to turn it around in terms of the ganks. If you get a kill here on Viper, oh man, Undying is still alive. I thought he actually died. There's a 2 for 2 now. Looks like Ogre's going to try and get a third here on the Venge, but he actually gets stunned up by Earth Spirit and Silence. He might be able to turn around and throw his Fire Blast onto the Vengeful Spirit. He wants the kill. No multicast, and the Tombstone expires. What do you think? I'm gonna call you Chalk. What do you think, Chalk?
In terms of who's gonna win?
Yeah, like, do you think they're gonna scale well into the late game, or is it gonna kind of just tail off?
Yeah, I mean, again, the PA, I think both the PA and the Pudge are the ones that'll would work better at the late game, in my own opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will admit I've been really impressed by the Earth Spirit's play. I mean, he's died a few times, but his rotations have really been on top
middle tower
of
is under
things.
siege.
And then just looking at the way the Spirit Breaker and the Undying have both been playing, it's been, I mean, Spirit Breaker's been all over the map, which is good, but it's kind of been more selfish stuff, right? Like the Earn Charge with the Phantom Assassin. Or sorry.
Right.
Or the Earn Charge with the Phantom Assassin. and then Undying getting really good.
Sorry, SB was charging mid, he
I was
decided to
thinking.
stop mid. He just barely got out, but Venge swapped him at the last second. The rock wasn't going to hit him in time. He got picked off. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, he's playing a ganking hero, but he's kind of playing a little bit more for himself
Dyer's
than
top
for the
tower
team, which
is
is
being
worrisome.
attacked.
Yeah. And it just figures, like, I guess the biggest thing for me is, like, right now they have a fairly early advantage, but it's the sort of thing that, at least as far as behavior of a player is concerned, like, this seems to me like a team that could very easily fall apart once things go against them, because, you know, I don't know, SB starts telling people that they suck or something like that, and it just seems to me like they're, you know, I know it's
Dyer's
silly
bottom
to try and
tower is
factor in
being
because we can't
attacked.
see team chat, but it sort of seems to me like the Radiant, the Dire sort of have their act
Dyer's
together a little
bottom
bit better in
tower is
terms of
under
just the way that they've
siege.
been rotating to support people, even though they're behind in terms of kills and
Yeah.
net worth.
They're definitely playing less selfishly, and when you do have a team that's a little bit more aggressive, that tends to correspond with players' behavior. So I see what you mean about them maybe being a little bit more likely to
Dyer's
like,
bottom tower
start
is being
arguing with each
attacked.
other and that kind of thing. And that's really important in Dota, is to have good team cohesion, because it really affects how you do. Good decision there from PA to back out. And SB managed to get out as well. Just super tanky at these lower levels especially. Very hard to kill. So taking advantage of that high HP pool and his stout shield and everything else to get out of there and let PA survive. I just want to talk briefly about PA's items. I don't like them. When I play PA, I like to go Poor Man's Shield into Face Boots into Battle Fury. And getting Power Treads is fine, but I think a Ring of Aquila is really not very useful. If you want HP, you can go for an early Ogre Club into BKB later or something like that. But anyways, there's a fight happening mid. Ogre Magi is going to die. Doesn't manage to get a stun up over onto the Nature's Prophet. Looks like Undying might fall as well. Viper doing a lot of damage, but he's going to be able to distance out. Maybe just barely enough. Gets silenced. There's a dot going on him from the Earthshaker. Meanwhile, 2 kills happening mid. Earth Spirit is running away. I called him Earthshaker. Running away towards bottom rune. Pudge looking to cut him off. I think Pudge is going for a blink first. There's a charge here from the Spear Picker, which might spell his doom. Where's the hook? No hook necessary. Just gonna rot him down.
Mega kill, double kill.
That was a pretty decent turnaround from them. That's some team play we haven't really seen too much from them throughout this game. But anyways, I was saying, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, PA, what makes her so good is the unexpected damage. Like, you can never really predict whether you're gonna get crit or not, and that's how I like to build my heroes generally. Like, Faceless Void I like to build for attack speed, and PA I like to build for base damage. You know, just take advantage of their inherent skills.
Right.
So she has Blink to give her attack speed, so why not go for damage? So you get huge crits, and people can't... It's hard to anticipate, right? Dagger, and then Blink, and then boom, you explode. How do you play against that? You only have so much time to react, so... the way she's going, she'll have a little bit more attack speed. And mana regen for some reason, because her spells cost nothing. I don't know why you need that. But we'll see how it turns out. So it looks like there's going to be a fight here top, and Chalk, you want to take care of describing what was on?
Oh, probably. My Dota client just crashed.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, PA died. Spiritbreaker just barely got out. And there's 2 left here trying to defend top against 4 from the Dire. That's weird that your Dota client crashed. I've noticed mine being a little bit unstable from time to time, so maybe there's something going on. Blink is up on Pudge, so we might see some more kills from him. Sorry, go ahead.
Radiant's top
Mac
tower
client
is
has
under
actually
attack.
gotten progressively worse.
Radiant's
Oh,
top
you're on
tower is
Mac.
under
Oh,
attack.
Lord.
Dyer's middle
No
tower is
wonder.
being attacked.
Now I understand. I guess
And there's
maybe
an update that needs to download.
Well, okay, SB up on top of Vengeance Spirit. Looks like Venge is gonna die. Pudge is in the middle of everything with Raw. There's also the Undying, little, whatever the heck they're called, golems or flesh golems or something. That's 2 kills now for the Radiant. They're kind of starting to come together now. We were worried about their cohesion, but they're doing a really good job fighting as a group. Meanwhile, Drow is pushing mid. There are 2 down on the Dire side. There's no Fort Rune available. She does manage to get the tower, but she's going to pay with her life. She has Mask of Madness activated and just basically gets killed by 2 abilities there. So that's 3 kills now for the Radiant. and take a quick look at net worth. They're still only at 1,000. They were doing a little bit better just a while ago. So I think they're in danger of tailing off, like we mentioned earlier. Chalk's just trying to get back into this game.
Dire's middle tower is under siege.
The Mac client. If only I knew, I would never have agreed to cast you. No, I'm kidding. Nature's going for a tanky build, which tends to work pretty well on him. Double nulls. He's trying to... Oop. Spiritbreaker tried to kill him, but now he's just piecing the heck out. Pudge does find Vengeful Spirit behind their tower here in Tier 1, and that's just the danger of a Pudge with a Blink Dagger. Has so much mobility and just really scary to play against. Blade Mail up on Undying now, but it's not going to save him from 3 people attacking him. Spiritbreaker is charging top over onto the Viper. We'll see if he's able to get there in time. He does cancel his charge, a little bit too risky for him, but Pudge is coming up top to help support and maybe get a kill. He does need to find a hook, I think, to pull someone out of position for it to work out. But Viper is pushing very aggressively. Oh man, a horrible hook attempt from Pudge. SB is there to support him, gets his ulti cancelled. Now he's taking a lot of damage, turns on the Blade Mail, gonna slow the Drow from doing damage. He does manage to finish off the Viper. SB's just barely gonna get away, and Pudge blinks in. Oh no, SB dies, and meanwhile Ogre Magi died as well to I don't know, actually. To someone. Probably Earth Spirit, given that he was on the rune there. I thought Spiritbreaker was going to get away. You back in the game yet?
Yeah, it's just loading up.
Okay. Venge spots out Pudge in the trees there. She's not going to get tricked again. Earth Spirit, was on the side. Looked like Venge wanted to try and find a kill. But Pudge just blinked away. And Earth Spirit paused. I think there's a little bit of BM going on between Venge and Earth Spirit there. Being like, why did you swap without asking me, or something like that. I don't know. PA now has Power Treads, Aquila, and a Helm of the Dominator. We'll see if she goes for a BKB next. Looks like she's going to be skipping Battle Fury. Which in my opinion would have given her the mana regen she got with Aquila, and also given her really nice damage with which to shiv people. But, you know, different people have different ways of playing heroes. Looks like Pudge might die here, getting caught up in the jungle and taking a lot of damage. There's a dot damage. He's trying to rot himself out, but he actually feeds his kill streak over to the Viper, which is really bad for him. Viper probably one of the worst heroes on the team, aside from Natures and Drow, to give his kill streak to 619 gold. And
that looks like Nature's Prophet's initiating the Dire Offlet.
Yeah, but SB making pretty liberal use of those TPs. He doesn't TP out. He doesn't TP in, he TPs out. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, it makes sense. When you're that tanky, you go in and you mess up, you just turn around and TP home, and you just charge back out again. So, and that's what he's doing. He's charging back out over onto the Nature's Prophet. Nature's does have that Orchid though, which gives him a lot of survivability, and if he manages to silence Spiritbreaker before he can use his ultimate, he'll be in a pretty good spot. He's actually going to TP out. I think the Sprout's going to... Oh, not quite fast enough. There's an urn.
There's Spirit coming in.
There's a Blade Mail here being used by the Spiritbreaker, and he actually kills off Nature's Prophet, but dies as a result of Earth Spirit. And Earth Spirit, again, doing a really good job there with those rotations like you mentioned earlier. Viper turning it around. Oh, he's going to die from the Pudge blinking in, though. This game is so crazy, it's hard to keep track of. Venge getting chased now. There's a hook coming out from Pudge, but she dodges the hook. Pudge needs to try and blink over on top of her. It looks like Ogre might look to just finish her off. I don't think he should have used his Bloodlust there. He could have gotten the stun off and not let her get a little bit more distance. Actually swaps the Drow and gets Sorry, yeah?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a side of me saying, like, I don't think there's really any advantage to getting the Venge in that case. They should have taken the tower, which they had already taken, but there's still a fight going on, I guess.
Well, Ogre looked like he was gonna be able to finish it off, but he used his Bloodlust. It's gonna be a kill on Earth Spirit? Maybe? Probably, yeah. And Venge is gonna die as well? No, Venge got away. Oh, wait, she just swapped and killed. Undying playing so aggressively. Venge getting kills as well though, and I think she's gonna die to the the Urn's gonna finish her off. But I don't know, their team's not quite as strong in the late game. Spiritbreaker coming in here to try and support and give him help. But yeah, back to that previous engagement. God, this game's been going for 20 minutes and there's like 56 kills. It's crazy. And maybe another kill here on the Spiritbreaker mid. He's gonna chase a little bit, which is a pretty foolish decision. Oh, he's gonna maybe get a kill here on the Nature's Prophet. Actually gets pushed down into the river, which is gonna give him a brief respite from the damage he's been taking. Spirit Breaker right on top of him, and his Sprout's on cooldown. There's a hook gonna finish him off from inside the trees. Viper really wants to get the kill on Spirit Breaker. There's Earth Spirit coming in now. He's gonna kill off the Spirit Breaker, so I think that's 1 for 2, which is a good trade. But in that previous fight, those are the little things I think that make a difference when you kind of get to the higher level. Is Ogre Magi chasing down the Vengeful Spirit, chose to use his Bloodlust, which is only at level 1, and he was just about to get in range at the point which he could use his Fire Blast. Then she juked into the trees, and then Drow was there, and she swapped, and it turned into this whole thing, and they kind of traded evenly on kills, as opposed to him just getting a kill and backing up. And if he'd gotten a kill, he would have been able to back up and be in position with his team
bottom tower is under
to then push the next tower, the tier 2, with a numbers advantage. So you're right, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, if you don't see yourself being able to get that kill before she ducks behind the trees, then at that point you just have to turn around. You can't keep going, because then you risk feeding kills, because the longer you take to chase someone down, the more time the enemy team has to react, and more likely it is that you're going to die. And that's something that I love chasing people and killing people and like outclassing people, but I've started to learn that it's just, sometimes you just have to turn around.
Yeah.
Punch manages to blink away. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too. I also find it easier when there's something like an objective that you can take, like that. I mean, that mid tower died anyway, but I was just gonna say, especially if something like that's uncertain. Let's say that was a Rax or something like that. I mean, that could be something that turns a win into a loss. Potentially.
Right. Yeah, and you see that sometimes teams that are ahead that end up diving in the base and then they die, or they lose. Sorry, they don't die, but they lose. Well, they die and they lose. And oftentimes it's me as the carry being like, guys, stop diving. Just like friggin' get the racks. Like kill people if they come forward, but don't like dive over into the fountain.
Double damage.
Yeah, there's always that element of the human psyche to Dota for sure, and they're actually taking Roshan here on bottom. Viper using his ult to slow it down, and Drow doing a lot of damage here with the Mask of Manus, as well as the medallion and the armor reduction from Vengeful Spirit. So it's gonna be a nice little pickup for them on the Roshan. And she actually had a DD, so that was actually a really good decision for her to go ahead and take out Roshan when she had that increased capacity.
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
So on the point of the Mask of Madness, what do you think about Drow Ranger building the Mask of Madness in this game? Because it seems like between Pudge and PA, that's just something that's going to result in her dying far more than it actually helps her.
I agree. I had a game recently where there was the Luna who built a Mask of Madness, which is an even worse idea. Generally, in my opinion, you shouldn't build Mask of Madness on heroes that are squishy, that need to be in relatively close and don't have a way to prevent people from attacking. So, but there's a big fight happening. Pudge gets a kill here on Vengeful Spirit. Nature's coming in to help out. PA doing some damage. She's going to take out the Drow Ranger so quickly with that Mask of Madness turn on. Drow is going to come back up though. But that's 4 down, well 3 down. Drow's back up again, but she's going to die as well. That Mask of Madness just doing so much for her. Not. That really illustrated our point we were just making very nicely. She just blew up in like 3 seconds, and with a team that just goes right on top of her with Pudge blinking on top of her with Spirit Breaker charging on top of her with PA blink striking, like it just doesn't make sense to build an item that makes you so vulnerable. You really need a lot of control on your team to be able to justify that.
Yeah.
And Nature's looks like he wants to try and spread out. He has his cooldown up in 1 second, but it's actually not going to be enough. He's going to get stunned up by the Spirit Breaker. He's trying to sprout again. Spirit Breaker doesn't have an ult, but there's a bash coming out. He might be able to actually finish him off. The Urn's going to take away his health, but he gets juked out. He gets juked out! Meanwhile, they are pressuring top. They did take the tower, and they need to back up. So the Radiant, I mean, it looked like for a long time that they were going to be losing their early momentum, but they really got their act together. Now they have 10,000 plus net worth advantage. They have, let's look at their items. PA with the Basher, she's finally starting to be a little bit more useful. Spirit Breaker has a Vlad's, which is a nice choice for the team. A little bit unexpected based on her previous analysis. He's got Blade Mail, Arcane Boots up on Ogre Magi, working towards a Aghanim's. Honestly, I like to see Ogre get a blink first before Aghanims. I know people are obsessed with the fact he can use 2 stuns in a row and do a lot of damage, but better if you can jump on them and then do that later. Pudge with blink and Force Staff working up towards Aghanims, and Undying has a Ghost Scepter, Blade Mail, Urn, and Soul Ring, so building very tanky. So the Radiant is really well equipped right now, which you would expect given that they have such a large advantage. And good item choices so far, aside from the PA in my opinion. But you want to go over the dire once you finish talking about
sure.
what you're going to talk about? Well, it looks like there might be a
I was
fight.
actually getting...
So he gets out of there. So what were you going to say? Sorry.
I was actually going to say I don't quite understand the Ghost Scepter choice on Undying. I mean, I know that it's sort of designed... I know what the Ghost Scepter is supposed to do, but it sort of seems like he's a hero who'd benefit more from just getting in somebody's face and still hitting people.
Well, I think for Undying, he's kind of reached a point where his auto attacks don't do that much. And the Ghost Scepter saves him from aggression from Nature's Prophet and Drow and Viper, aside from Viper's ult, obviously. There's a pretty big benefit to Undying, which people don't really realize, is he actually has a damage amp from his ultimate. Based on how close he is to people, they take extra damage when he's in his creepy golem mode. So with Ghost Scepter, he can afford to get in there and still be in the fight and not be as susceptible to getting like sniped down by
Dire's
Viper
middle
or
tower is
Viper or
under
whatever
attack.
else.
You might want to look
But
into
it looks like there
that.
might be a fight here. They are pressing the tower and getting some free damage, but the Dire is prepared to fight back. I'm not sure they can do it, given that the Radiant also has the rest of their team there. This is a mistake that a lot of teams make, is they're behind and their tier 2 is being taken and they still trying to defend. Venge is going to die here just real quickly. Kill goes over to Ogre Magi, which is nice because he's no one with attack damage is going to have that reduction. Going to get the kill here on the Earth Spirit. Abyssal Blade up on the PA now, so just very deadly. So that's 3 down, 4 down, and Nature's might be able to, Nature's just barely gets out. But there you go! An illustration of the point I was just making. It's not worth it for a tier 2. And you don't have the high ground advantage, which you really need when you're at that point in the game where you're getting beat down pretty badly.
Dire's middle tower has been destroyed.
They go ahead and lose like their whole team for nothing, and this is going to be Rax most likely.
I think you can also see a bit of an indication in terms of the passivity on the Dire side, just because if you look at the hero levels of that, Drow Ranger's the second lowest in the entire game. She hasn't really been... Even during maybe some of those idler moments, she could have been spending that time in the jungle just getting herself to a point where she's going to contribute more. But, I mean, right now she either gets hooked and died, or PA can just jump on her and end her life.
Yeah, and if you look at the last hits, Drow has 96, which is 8 more than Viper, and Nature's Prophet has 125, and then PA has 187. So PA definitely has been doing a better job of farming overall, which is very important when you're playing a carry. Looks like they can go ahead and take the melee racks here top. And this is pretty much GG. I mean, let's take a quick look at the items on the Dire side, just to get an idea. So that Mask of Madness was really pretty painful to see for the Drow. Led to a lot of deaths for her. I think that I felt that Nature's had pretty good itemization, building for HP early on with the nulls, and then getting an Orchid, which helped them out a bit. But his team is already pretty far behind. Viper was going for an eggs and had a mech, so he was playing responsibly. First Spirit with Jewels and Urn, and Venge with Medallion and Urn. So pretty good item choices. Just that Mask of Madness limiting Drow's potential because she'd die pretty quickly. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
I was
Go
actually
ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think I have a slight suspicion that the Venge build might actually be following Purge's guide. This seems almost exactly, exactly what would be on a Purge guide.
That's funny. I don't really follow guides. I'm not familiar with how they're set up. I just kind of build what I usually build, but I've played way too much, so I'm kind of an outlier, I think.
Well, my first... I don't know if there's anything else to say about this particular game because they're just taking towers and throne, but one of the advantages of starting out was I read guides first, and then my goal was to basically play each hero and write my own guide sort of with
oh, that's cool.
Maybe not slavishly, but like just get something that in a normal game, if I don't know what to buy, just at least do
Dire's
something that,
ancient is under
if I go
attack.
dumb, my previous smarter self can help me out through my little guide.
Right.
But yeah, the Purge Guide is just one of the first things that I
Dire's
read, because he
ancient
basically
is being
teaches everybody how to play. And then promptly turned around and decided what I wanted to do better.
So they're diving the fountain now.
Dire's
I mean,
ancient is being
victory is
attacked.
assured, and that's going to be
Radiant
for them.
victory.
That PA build worked out. I think it was mostly off the strength of her teammates. But I don't know. The way I build PA, maybe it's just because I like to kill people. You can get a lot of kills in the mid to early game just by jumping on them and critting the crap out of them.
Yeah.
But it worked out. I mean,
Well, you made
I
a
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you made a really good point too about the Aquila, which is, I mean, Battle Fury seems to me to be just a standard item that you buy on PA, so there's no need for the mana regen. I mean, even just using your spells responsibly is enough to get you through that. And then, yeah, I mean, it just seems to be delaying all the better things that you can get. I will admit, I personally like. I seem to build power treads on just about everything, and I've finally been learning how much better phase boots are.
They can be. I mean, some heroes, they make
yeah.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the thing for PAs, you can argue if you want a better chance of a crit or something like that, you know, higher attack speed, more attacks, better chance for a crit. But I'm not entirely convinced that power treads are the way to do that. Like,
Well,
there's other items that you can buy to.
the way I work around that is I go phase boots into, Poor Man's Shield phase boots, and then Battle Fury, and then depending on the game, Helmet Dominator or BKB, and then I get a Basher, and then I get an Abyssal, and then for my last item, I get a AC, which gives you more attack speed, also makes you tankier and adds to your already crazy armor, and also reduces their armor.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for attack speed, that's a pretty good way to get it. It also helps you destroy buildings as well at that point. Doesn't usually reach that point though, 'cause, I mean, that's a lot of items. I don't know. I mean, I get the attack speed thing, and some people build Mjolnir on PA, but for me, it really makes more sense to build around Blink Strike. It's got like a 5-second cooldown, and you can really just jump on people and take them out. You don't
Absolutely.
have to waste your gold spending it on other stuff. All right, I'm just gonna start the stream, or stop the stream and start the stream, because it's